Hello and welcome to this episode of my live streaming on YouTube. So what I've done is to split my screen into two so I can be on the internet on the screen, and then I've got this screen where you see me, but my camera is right there. So if I'm looking up there, I can be able to talk to you directly. So the purpose of this broadcast, this live broadcast, is just to go through what is going to be happening in the next few months, where you're going to see a regular YouTube live streaming from myself. So the first thing that I want to introduce is something called hashtag Ask Dereck Tafuma. Is hashtag Ask Me Any Question, but preferably questions on physics, the economy, and on religion. Not that I have all the answers on these three aspects, but because I think that we need to open a conversation around these three things because they challenge us a lot. Physics, because it's something that I'm very comfortable with, having studied physics myself. So I'm comfortable with that. But I also think we need to explore subjects such as religion, okay? Because I think we just go into them without really understanding most of what is going on in religion in terms of where it started, what's happening with religion around the world, okay? And the fact that a lot of conflicts and wars are caused by religion. Luckily enough for the southern part of Africa, there is not much conflict due to religion taking place, but the more fanatical we become, probably in future we might see quite a lot of conflict taking place. Now, I say the objective of this was to introduce the Ask Dereck Tafuma hashtag, in which physics, the economy, and religion are going to be the main topics that I'm going to be responding to. So what I've been doing is I've been doing like three things, which include blogging, podcasting, and YouTube creation. So in fact, I've been focused mainly on blogging. I've got a website, derecktafuma.com. And on this website, I've got several subjects that I talk about, including physics, religion, the economy, and several other topics, technology, you name it. Okay, and the blogging that I do is mainly on WordPress. So my website, derecktafuma.com, I do it on WordPress. Then I also do blogging on Blogger, which is by Google. And then I also blog on zimpreneurs.com, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Twitter, and all these other social networking platforms, okay, where I have access. But the main ones is the WordPress, the Blogger, zimpreneurs.com, on derecktafuma.com, LinkedIn, Facebook, groups and pages, okay? Then there is the podcasting bit, which I've not really, to be honest, I've not had really enough time to set it up because I've been doing quite a lot of things recently. So I thought podcasting would come last. So I'm just focusing on blogging and YouTube creation. Like this video right now is a YouTube creation, and I'm using the Hangout on Air. Although in the near future, most of the YouTube creation the Hangout on Air is going to pave way for something called live streaming and live broadcasting. Okay, so in terms of podcasting, I'll be doing that, and I've already tried this, so I know it works. I'll be using GarageBand by Apple, and also an application called Blueberry. Now, Blueberry is like it's a platform where instead of keeping videos within your website, you keep them. It's like a YouTube channel where you're keeping your videos so that you stream them from there. So instead of keeping them, because that saves you space, so instead of keeping the videos on your website, you host them on the Blueberry application. And then when people want to watch your videos, they are streaming directly from there, so it saves you space. Okay, so these are some of the things, applications that I'm using that I'll be talking about in future podcasts or in future YouTube videos. Okay, then I'll be using the podcast app on iTunes for the podcast, and also I want to sign up for Stitcher, which is another iTunes application. I mean, where you can watch a podcast repository where you can watch your podcasts from. You can subscribe and watch them from there. Right, then we've got YouTube creation, which is the other thing that I will do, and I'll show you how the YouTube creation, the podcasts, and the blogging can all be repurposed so that one piece of information can be blogged about, podcasted, and a YouTube video made from the same information. Okay, so in terms of YouTube creation, I can use YouTube applications on the iPhone and the iPad, and I can also use the Hangout on Air, which is what I'm using now, which is going to pave way, like I said, for live streaming on YouTube still. So it's going to be moving away from the Google platform onto the YouTube platform. We all know that YouTube was bought by Google. Okay, so they are moving their Hangout on Air onto the live streaming on YouTube. Okay. The other thing that I use to create my YouTube videos is an application called ScreenFlow. It's a screencasting software, and it's called ScreenFlow, and it's made or manufactured by Telecast, okay, which makes quite a number of live broadcasting applications or software. And the other thing that I use together with my YouTube creation is an application called Reflector 2. Reflector 2 is on both iPad and iPhone. So basically what Reflector 2 is it's a piece of software which enables you to put your iPhone or your iPad onto your desktop, so that if you are screencasting, you can see the contents or whatever is on your iPhone that you want to show. Maybe you want to show how the Facebook app works on the iPhone, so you can project it onto your screen, and then you can take a screencast of that of your desktop, okay, using ScreenFlow by Telecast, okay. Then the other applications, especially for the blogging application that I use, Evernote. Evernote is quite brilliant in that with Evernote, you can say you are on your iPad or your iPhone or your desktop, and you read an article, okay, and you want to save it in order to use it at a later time. You can save it onto your Evernote application, and then you can organize it into different folders, and then you can then use that at a later date, even for writing your notes. But the best one for me, okay, so in all of these cases, the applications I'm talking about are not the only applications you could use, okay. You could be using different applications, or you could be using the same applications as me, but you could be using them differently, Okay, so we all have our own particular way of using our applications, but what I can talk about is how I use them. Okay, so I use Ulysses. Ulysses is really good at articles. You can write books. You can write ebooks. You can write your articles. You can write almost anything on there. Okay, and you can easily put them into organize your work into some kind of folder format, but it's quite different from what we've been using. For example, with the Microsoft Office suite, it's quite a different way of reorganizing or organizing your data. Then there's one called Pocket. Pocket is really good because Pocket enables you to also save articles to read later. And the one thing that I'm using Pocket for at the moment is using it to, in fact, what it does is if you've got an article and you physically cannot read it, but you're able to listen to it, say you're driving, okay, you could turn it into an audio file. In fact, it can read it out to you, so you do not necessarily have to read it. Okay, then I also use a lot of podcasts. I subscribe to quite a lot of podcasts, okay, to get to know what's happening around the world, around the topics I'm interested in, okay. And lastly, I just want to re-emphasize that mostly for me, it's physics, the economy, and religion. I'm not an expert on religion, so I'm going to be asking a lot of questions about religion. I'm neither an expert on the economy, but I'm well read. I'm still reading, and I'm still learning. Physics, that's kind of my forte. Physics is what I have studied up to university level, and I've got a degree in physics. Okay, so that's about it. But just to recap, or just to re-emphasize what the objective was. The objective of this was to explain why I'm going to be making quite a lot of videos. Because what I've done for the past few couple of years or so is I've been writing a lot of blog posts, okay? But I've been neglecting search engine optimization, which is called SEO. Now, search engine optimization would mean that my articles are able to be found by people searching with certain search terms. So if they're using, say, search terms such as education, economy, Zimbabwe, then they would, my articles should come up if they're optimized. Now, optimization in terms of the application I'm using is in two ways. So first of all, is readability. Readability looks at how easy it is to read your article. So if I've got an article on a blog post and it's difficult for people to read, then people are most likely not to read a lot of it. So there are ways you can find out how much time people are spending on your blog posts, on a single blog post. Then there is the actual SEO itself, which just looks at how you have structured your blog post, whether you've included photographs, whether there's maybe a video, maybe also to check if you've used paragraphs, if there's not too many words in one paragraph, whether you've put side headings, because that helps with how people are going to be to find it easy to read your blog post. Okay, so that has left me with a mountain of going back. If you're starting on a blog today, I would suggest that you incorporate search engine optimization from day one. Okay, I think I've used it in the past. I've used it in the past on my blog, but at some point there was a conflict with another, we call them plugins, okay? There was a conflict with another plugin because the SEO is a plugin which you use on the WordPress website in order to do certain things that do not come with the WordPress software itself, okay? So this plugin was causing a conflict with other plugins, so I removed it, okay? Silly me, removed it. So when I removed it, all of the blog posts that I've been posting for quite a while have not been optimized, okay? But I'm not the lazy one to just ignore it. So I've come back to it. I am going to optimize all my posts, but each post that I optimize, I'm also going to do a video, okay, to talk about the content. So that's called repurposing. So what it means is I've made it easier for people who prefer not to read but to listen, okay, to consume the same content that I would have put in the video, okay? And that same content from the video can then be transferred into a podcast, okay? So looking at what I have in front of me, I have almost 200 blog posts, okay? Almost 200. That means almost 200 videos will come out of this, and almost 200 podcasts, okay? So I think the podcast space is something that is Zimbabweans in particular and Africans in general, it's something that we have not really gone into, especially on the production side, on the producing of content side, okay? So once we have people like myself, say, promoting podcasting, so maybe we're going to see more and more people going into podcasting. But I think it's important that we share those stories through podcasts and also through video. Because to be honest, I think the writing space is a bit saturated at the moment, okay? But that does not stop you from going ahead and writing if you want to write, because it doesn't matter how many people are doing a thing, okay? There is always something special about you doing it because you do it your own way, and your own way could be something that resonates with certain people, okay? So never think that any space is crowded, okay? Join the crowd and make a difference. So basically, I know I've said some things here that a lot of people might have questions about. So if you do have a question, please put your question in the comments, which are going the comment section below, and we'll respond to some of those questions. There's a question I meant to respond to actually over the weekend. I haven't done so, but I can promise you I'm going to respond to that question, okay? So I'm going to leave it here for now. I'm still trying to figure out, I hope by next video they'll figure this out, okay? Because the last time I tried it, there was a doubling of the audio. So I tried not to do that now. Maybe I'll do a test run after this video because I don't want to spoil this one, because I do very little editing after this. I like to do a one shot because that's very natural, and I like things to stay natural, okay? And so my website again is derecktafuma.com. I've been spending a bit of time on Snapchat. I think it's a brilliant idea, okay? And so you can catch me on Snapchat. Just search for Dereck Tafuma, and I think I've used Cosmic Dust. I'm not sure. I'll have to see again on that, okay? And so we've come to the end. I've come to the end of this broadcast. Thank you to the people that have been watching. If you've asked any questions, when I see them, I'll respond to them. I've not been able to do that during the broadcast, but I noticed some people were watching. I did not do a lot of marketing or advertising for this actual live broadcast. So thank you to those people that managed to log in even without being told. And I think I think that's because when I start, I think there's a tweet which is sent to my Twitter handle, my Twitter account, to alert people that I've started a broadcast, and that same tweet is then sent to Facebook. Okay, so someone might have found out from Facebook that I am live. So anyway, I will see you in the next broadcast, which is probably tomorrow. If I don't do it on the YouTube live streaming, I might do it using the screen flow that I spoke about earlier on, okay, which is not live, but I've got more options in terms of editing after I've done the video. Okay, so thank you very much. I will see you in the next video.